What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here, and today we have some brand spankin' new Destiny 2 information. Now, this comes from the Bungie weekly update that has just been released, detailing a bunch of new official information. We now finally know exactly what is happening with next week's faction rally and more, and so let's get started. So yes, next week, the next Tuesday reset, faction rally is set to begin. Now, we've known this for a while, but we have no idea exactly what's going to happen until today. And so, let's get started. Now, the faction rally is actually much more of an event as compared to factions in Destiny 1, where you just picked one and leveled it up. That's somewhat happening in Destiny 2, but Bungie senior designer Tim Williams explains exactly how the faction rally will work. Quote, "Each of the factions in the tower is having a rally to collect resources for its cause. They're recruiting Guardians to gather supplies for their faction and destroy enemy resources. They'll offer a suite of rewards to help the Guardians rise up against any enemy threats. As an incentive, each faction has set aside a powerful weapon to entice players to choose their side. The faction whose Guardians collect the most faction packages will be declared the winner. The winning faction will offer the weapon to everyone, but all who pledged loyalty will receive it with a huge discount as repayment for their contribution to their faction's cause." It's then said that, and excuse me for butchering all of these, Arak Jalal from Dead Orbit, Lakshmi 2 from Future War Cult, and Executor Hideo from New Monarchy will return to the tower and to ask you to pledge your loyalty. Before you can make this choice, you must first reach level 20 and gain access to the tower. You will only be able to pledge to one faction per character. Now, that's kind of a lot to take in, so let's break it down a little bit. Essentially, every faction rally, so this is going to happen multiple times throughout Destiny 2's history, every single faction, Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult, is going to be offering a special weapon. And then you pledge allegiance to a certain faction. Whatever faction wins, essentially. So overall, the entire Destiny 2 community is going to be doing this. They're going to be going out and earning reputation for their faction by public events and strikes and so on. And then whatever faction wins, so let's say Dead Orbit gets the most reputation in that given time frame, then the weapon, the special weapon that Dead Orbit offers at the beginning of the faction rally will be made available to everyone, but people who did pledge allegiance to Dead Orbit will receive that weapon at a big discount. So it really does matter who wins, because that's going to determine a different weapon. In fact, we actually know the 3 special weapons that are going to be awarded depending on which faction wins. So, for Dead Orbit, we have this Dead Orbit Scout Rifle. For Future War Cult, we have this Future War Cult Pulse Rifle. And lastly, for New Monarchy, we have this New Monarchy Sidearm. Unfortunately, that's all we know about them right now, and very importantly, these weapons are not available, I repeat, not available normally to buy at your faction vendor. It's not like you can go and just buy the Dead Orbit Scout Rifle. The only way to get it is to have Dead Orbit win the faction rally, and that's actually very exciting. Now, we know this because Bungie actually gave us a look at all of the different factions and their special inventories beginning on next Tuesday with the faction rally. So let's start with Dead Orbit. Now, looking at the vendor inventory here, we have a different Dead Orbit armor set for each of the different classes. We have 4 Dead Orbit weapons. The hand cannon is available to get out of Cade's stashes right now, but every other weapon we haven't seen so far, so that's very exciting. We also have some shaders and some random weapons that you can also get from these vendors at the same time when you pick up faction rewards. Moving on, we have Future War Cult. We again have a different armor set for each class. We've got some shaders, we've got new Future War Cult weapons. The auto rifle again you can get from Cade's stash, but all of the other weapons are new. I really want to see what that hand cannon does. Future War Cult is kind of known for having pretty good hand cannons. And then moving on from there, we have New Monarchy. New Monarchy vendor inventory shown right here. Again, we have an armor set for every class. We have some sweet new weapons. The scout rifle is the one you can get from Cade 6 stashes. Everything else is new. And there you have it. So, this is all very exciting, and this has definitely surpassed my expectations for what I thought the faction rally would be. You can still level up your faction after you've pledged. Like, again, you can do a bunch of different activities like public events that will level up your faction, and then you get rewards from that faction, just like you're getting Vanguard rewards or rewards for leveling up your gunsmith, etc. So that's how you're going to get the new armor sets and the weapons that we just looked at. But then, of course, you're going to have this whole dynamic that the entire community is competing against each other to see which faction actually wins. I don't know about you guys, but I want that Dead Orbit Scout. I don't want a sidearm. Like, get out of here. So I'm going to be pledging Dead Orbit. If you guys want to support the cause as well, get that Scout, pledge Dead Orbit as well. But to be honest, I'm going to be pledging towards a different faction for each of my 3 different characters, so it's not really that big a deal. Anyways, this does look very exciting, and I can't wait to see how many actual faction rally events we have. Like, after the first one is won, let's say Dead Orbit wins, we all get the scout rifle. People who pledge Dead Orbit get, you know, that much cheaper, and then the next faction rally is going to come. Is there going to be, again, an entirely new weapon that we've never seen before as the rewards, or is it going to be the same 3, and then, you know, we kind of work together to get not the Dead Orbit weapon that time? That's all going to be very, very interesting, so I'm excited for Tuesday for sure. And speaking of the faction rally ending, Bungie actually outlined exactly what would happen and when. So, this first faction rally ends at 2 a.m. Pacific on October 3rd. The winner is declared that day at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's exactly 1 week after the Tuesday it starts. So it looks like it's a weekly event. The winning weapon will be available to everyone for 50,000 Glimmer, but if you pledged allegiance to the right faction, you get it for 1,000 Glimmer. So that is definitely a big deal. Now that, the faction rally, is definitely the main thing in today's weekly update, but there are a few more things. Firstly, Bungie offered a ton of brand new, high quality screenshots and art. And in the description of this video, you'll find the weekly update linked, so you can go there and check these out. If you're looking for a new screensaver for your desktop, like, these are fantastic. Now moving on from there, another big piece of news is that guided games are going to be starting for the Leviathan Raid on September 26th, the same Tuesday as the faction rally. This, of course, is a big thing for a lot of players who've been having trouble getting a full 6-man team together. Bungie also went into some detail about how exactly the Oathkeeper Score works, and so if you're watching this and you are planning on doing guided games, this is very important. So you're going to actually have an Oathkeeper Score for several different activities for your clan. Now, after 4 games of a certain activity, 4 games, you're going to finally get an Oathkeeper Score. The Oathkeeper Score is essentially a rating for how good your clan is at helping people through activities. So if you've been just bombing through Nightfalls, helping a ton of people in guided games through Nightfalls, you're going to have a high Oathkeeper Score. So when people are looking for guided games involving Nightfalls, they will see your Oathkeeper Score next to your clan when they're going to select it, and they can purposely select you and say, yes, this person is a proper teammate for Nightfalls, for example. But if you're dropping out early of raids and you're being very mean or something, then you may have a lower Oathkeeper Score for your clan for the raid matchmaking of guided games, and therefore people may start to avoid your clan. Moving on from there, something that I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to want to know, Destiny 2 is going offline for server maintenance on September 25th, the day before the 26th, where we get guided games in the faction rally, for Bungie to update the game to handle this stuff. So it's going completely offline from 6 a.m. Pacific on the 25th to 12 p.m. Pacific. So that's a pretty big gap. So don't book any time off. Don't plan to play Destiny at these times. Destiny is going to be completely offline. And so guys, that is it for all of the latest Destiny 2 news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. Now, if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now, if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.